So welcome to our channel, that's what we call The Good Life. Now today I'm going to be talking about simple allotment planning and also crop rotation. Now if you've not already subscribed to my channel, if you could please do so, because you'll get lots of helpful hints and tips all throughout the year from my allotment, my home garden, and from time to time my home kitchen. Now the secret behind any garden is good soil. Now allotment planning and crop rotation is one way of ensuring you get really good soil and grow really good crops. Now throughout this video I'm going to be telling you why we do crop rotation and why we plan, the reasons that you can do it and how you can do it. I'm also going to be at the end giving you a simple rotation system that I personally use on my allotment, which I hope will really help you guys a lot. Now one of the reasons, or a few of the reasons why you crop rotate, is to help with soil deficiencies. If you keep planting the same thing in the same spot, you'll get deficiencies. And while you can replace it with fertilisers, it's really good if you can rotate it and put some of the natural goodness back yourself. I've been watching some videos on Charles Dowding, and I know some of you do as well, because sometimes we talk about it in the comments, and he's been doing some trials of planting some crops year after year in the same place just to see how that works out. And while he could get away with it for the first 2 or 3 years, once you started hitting the 4th year, then things really started to take a nosedive, and you could see the reason why you would try and rotate things. Now it isn't always easily possible on your allotment to rotate things exactly how you would want to, but you just make the best effort that you can do with regard to helping with the soil deficiencies. The other reason is pests and disease. And the same thing, some vegetables are particularly susceptible to certain pests and diseases, and by rotating them you give them a little bit of a helping hand to stop that from happening. Some things that are particularly susceptible are things in the allium family, from onion rot, from allium leaf miner, which I've suffered from myself, and by rotating you can help to try and alleviate that. Other things that you can get, some brassicas are subjected to some diseases if they're planted in the same place. And there's lots of other things, like my potatoes this year I had really bad wireworm, so that's another good reason to rotate, so certain things don't get a hold in certain patches of your ground and really destroy your crop. So that's why it's really good to do that. The other thing crop rotation can help with is also weed control. So some crops naturally cover the ground and suppress the weeds, so then when you then plant a subsequent crop that doesn't cover the ground, the chance of the weeds being as bad aren't, is less likely to happen, because you've suppressed them, almost like covering the ground and killing the weeds off. So that can help as well with weed control. So there's lots and lots of benefits to doing the crop rotation. Now when you've got a plot even like mine, it isn't always easy to rotate things exactly to the letter, but you just make the best effort you can. Now moving on to my simple crop rotation, of which I'm going to do really shortly, and one thing I would recommend is taking photos of your plot so you know where things are, so when you rotate each year you can keep track of it. Also writing it down. I've got my simple crop rotation jotted down of roughly what I plan to do this year, just so I have an idea of where I'm going to put everything, and obviously I can keep that for next year for when I then need to rotate again, because we all think we're going to remember, but the reality is you think, where was it there, where by taking photographs or by writing it down or doing a bit of both, that will also help and aid you in doing that as well. Now, and if you've got a YouTube channel like mine, you can look back through and see what you've done if you've not remembered to do that, or you can't find where you've written it down. That's why having an allotment planner is a really good thing to have. And if you look through my videos, you'll probably see that mine isn't exactly as it should be, but I roughly do move things around every single year. Now to start with a basic crop rotation system, which is roughly the one that I follow, is the first thing you have is your legumes. Now if you don't know what legumes are, they are things of the pea family. They are types of beans like broad beans, runner beans, French beans, borlotti beans, all sorts of beans. So that's the first thing in the crop rotation. The good thing about beans is they put lots and lots of nitrogen into the soil, so it's then really good to then follow them with the brassica family, because brassicas absolutely love nitrogen. So things like brassicas are, chard, kale, Brussels, cauliflower, broccoli, cabbages, that sort of thing. So they follow next. And then after that, you then move round to things of what we call fruiting vegetables, which are things like tomatoes, courgettes, aubergines, peppers. You can put potatoes in that area if you want to. Now, there are some things that you can mix around a little bit, and potatoes are one of them, but they can go in the fruiting section as well. Cucumbers, you know, all sorts of fruiting things. And then the next thing on the list, the fourth item, are root vegetables like carrots, parsnips, radishes, beetroot. Your potatoes can go in there. So that's your full thing. So each time you rotate in a clockwise direction doing the next thing. Now, like I say, you can't stick to it to the letter unless you're very fortunate to have a massive plot where you've got lots of beds where you can rotate everything around. You can mix things up a little bit, and in fact some people do companion plant with some things. You know, courgettes can be moved around a little bit, corn can be moved around a little bit, so there are some things you can move around a little bit, and don't get too het up about it, because sometimes the only space I can put something isn't the ideal place that I want to put it, but I just do the very best I can, and that's what I would suggest you do as well. You know, don't beat yourself up if you can't get everything exactly where you want to put it. Now, I do hope you've enjoyed my video about allotment planning and crop rotation, and it's going to help you do what you want to do with your allotments this year. If you've got any questions or comments, please do let us know and we will answer them. It'd be really amazing if you could comment and subscribe and like. And if you feel you've got real value out of this video, we do something called Buy Me a Coffee, which we'll put up on the screen, where you can buy me a coffee, and we'll also put the link in the description, but don't feel you've got to do that. If all you can do is subscribe, like and comment, I would be more than grateful.